and delegation. It's been a while. Hey fam, welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be talking about what to expect when working with a virtual assistant, a VA. Now, this is such a great way to outsource and to delegate tasks, but there are a few things that you should be aware of before you jump into the deep end. And yeah, learn from my mistakes. I've been doing this for a few years now. This is what we help our clients to do as well. So I'm going to be taking you through some of the advantages and also the things to consider when hiring a Filipino VA. For all things scaling your business, team building, virtual professionals, systemizing, and just delegating within your business, do subscribe, like this video. It helps me to reach more people like you. So one of the first things that you can expect is a massive cost saving. I think that's why a lot of startup entrepreneurs, small businesses, medium businesses, even large scale businesses will delegate and outsource to the Philippines. The Filipinos do have a lower cost of living as opposed to their Western and European counterparts. So it really makes it an ideal choice for anyone who's looking to save a little bit on their overheads without compromising the quality. So for this reason, if you're a startup entrepreneur or if you're just in the ideation phase, this is something to really consider. And even super large businesses, bringing in billions of dollars of revenue per year are utilizing teams over in the Philippines as well. Because of their high education and their experience, it makes them so diverse in terms of the types of clients that they can be working with. So it really doesn't matter where you're at, you're probably likely going to find someone who is adept and efficient at fulfilling the tasks and the jobs within your business. So the second thing that you can expect here when hiring a Filipino VA is the flexibility that comes with hiring a virtual professional. Many of the virtual professionals within our team work within flexible hours. We do have virtual professionals that will work on shift times or like a dedicated roster depending on the client, their industry, and what are the requirements there. That's all going to come down to a mutual agreement between you and them, and if it's fitting for both of you, cool, you can talk about the work schedule. But from my experience and what I've seen in this industry over the last few years is, yeah, it can be really flexible with time as well, which I personally prefer because I'm all over the place when it comes to my work schedule, and sometimes I won't start work until 11 or 12 in the middle of the day. Other times I'm working at 6 a.m. Sometimes I'm finishing up at 2 p.m. and other times I'm working until 8 p.m. I like to just move with my creative juices and where the energy is. And so because of that, having those flexible hours works really well with me and my team. It is really important to set expectations here when you're working with a VA around the time schedule if you do have specifics or certain expectations around a work roster and whether you require that to be flexible or fixed. If you'd like to dive a little bit deeper into the benefits of hiring a VA, then I would suggest checking out this video here. We do deep dive and go a little bit further into those pieces there. The third point here I want to cover is cultural connections. This is what you can expect when hiring a Filipino VA. Filipinos are very well known for their friendliness, their open-mindedness, and their real go-getter attitude. And because of this, they've got really beautiful interpersonal skills. And so what seemed to sort of naturally evolve over the years is a lot of the big companies are going to the Philippines to fulfill those sort of customer service roles because they're great with their friendly demeanor in chatting with the customers and handling accounts and those types of more interpersonal type roles there, even in marketing type roles. So the natural ability to connect with people with that warmth really makes them great for those more interpersonal roles. It also makes working with them and having them as an asset on your team quite harmonious in my experience. I found moving with the team who is open and receptive a lot better as opposed to someone who's rigid or stagnant in their ways. And I found this is a generalization, I have found working with the Filipinos really harmonious in that way, and it's been quite easy to redirect and for them to take on feedback and give me feedback as well. So I have found they really are an invaluable asset when it comes to the delivery and the operations of any business. Now, before I go to the last point, which I feel is probably the biggest golden nugget out of all of these, I would love it if you would like and subscribe to my channel, put the notification on so that you do get notified when my next video comes out. Helps me to help more people like you. So the fourth point that I want to cover here, and this is just going to be such a game changer, and it really is imperative to have this awareness, is it's around the communication with your virtual professionals. Now, we've coined a term called yes man syndrome, and yes man syndrome is when you're nodding your head saying yes and you actually mean no. So you're saying no to yourself and you're saying no to others, but the people pleaser in you is saying yes, and it's like you don't want to disappoint, right? So this is a cultural thing that has been around for centuries, and it ripples out. And so what I've noticed in the Filipino culture is they like to please and they don't want to let you down. That's all. I love that, and that's all well and good, but there's also a piece that comes into this where if you are the CEO watching this, or you're in some sort of leadership position, it's really imperative not to take advantage of that and enable that, but to actually empower. So rather than enabling people pleasing, and they'll just say yes and yes and yes, and you might think, oh great, they can do all these things, and you're giving them all these things to do, and then you're getting it back and it's not so great or not what you expected, and then you get frustrated. It's more so just having this awareness of giving them full permission to say no to you. I do this with each and every single one of my team members, and this is something that I consistently remind them of, is come to me with your mistakes and your flaws and your faults and all of the things, because we are full spectrum humans and we are going to make mistakes and things aren't going to be perfect, right? And I think it pays to be consciously aware as a leader of how you are moving and operating within your team. And so this yes man syndrome, whilst it may be very titillating, if you will, to delegate a heap of stuff knowing that they're saying yes, 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 just know that that is also going to backfire. And so it's about stepping up as a leader, and perhaps this is all about expectations, what to expect with your virtual assistant. It's likely that they're going to be wanting to please you, and so it's really important to be checking in with them when you're first starting to, when you're doing the onboarding and you're getting them, delegating some new things to them, and say, hey, this is the document, these are the steps here. Is this something that you feel comfortable with? And by the way, if it's not and you feel like it's out of your scope, that's so fine. Just let me know so that I can do with this in like a more efficient way, or whatever it is. It's more just consistently giving the permission to your team to say no if it's not within their scope or something that they even feel comfortable doing. And a lot of the time it's just about, this is relationships as well, so it's seeing what they're available for and how they can meet you, and if they're not available for that, is there a compromise, or is it somewhere else that you can source this thing? But the main thing is you just want to be giving them permission to actually use their nose and to have those internal boundaries within themselves. Because I know that there can be power play sometimes as well, and we get stuck in these stories of victim and perpetrator and hero. So in a nutshell, you don't want to really be caught up in any power play dynamics. I think having a foundation of equity within your team really promotes openness, and therefore that's going to support the innovation of your business as well. So if your team feels comfortable to come to you with these things and highlight them to you, then you can work with that. That's really good juice to actually fire into your business and innovate and make it bigger and better. So that's up to you as the leader as well, to really set that standard and that quality, and not to put yourself on a pedestal. Everyone that goes on a pedestal will eventually get knocked down, and it's just doing yourself a massive disservice. So I've gone through a few of the things that you can expect when working with virtual assistants, and I hope it's been of service and of value to you. There is so much talent and resourcefulness in the pool of the Philippines, so they can really improve your business operations and make scaling possible as well. If you are curious about hiring VAs and you're not sure which way to go, I do have a delegation cheat sheet. I will leave the link below for that. And in addition, if you want to have access to the top 1% of talent, book a call in with me and my team. We can have a chat, see where you're at. It's more of a get to know each other. It's going to be more of an open discussion to see where you're at, see if there's a possibility for us to support you, and if not, perhaps I can at least try and point you in the right direction. So thank you again for sticking around, for watching this video. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next one.